Hello, everyone. I'm dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy, but you know that this channel's all about crafting journals to tell one ancestral story at a time. Now, I've purposely made this a very simplistic journal, not a lot of embellishments, because of the very fragile book that's going to be kept inside. Oh, that was nice. The sari silk just tore right there. Anyway, this is real silk. Um, okay, so let me read this as just as my grandchildren would open it if they could come to see the old steamer trunk. This journal is about my paternal grandmother, Myrtle Eliza Weiser, who was born the 12th of May, 1895 in Salt Lake City, Utah, and died 28 September 1972 in Bellevue, now Medina, Washington. Her parents were Eliza Marie Wasden and Charles Switzer Weiser. Before Myrtle married, she graduated from nursing school at St. Mark's Hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I made a little notation here on the side that says, yes, I use the name Dear Myrtle because I remember happy times visiting with Grandma Myrtle. She used Jergens hand lotion. It's funny how fragrances and foods and things like that kind of come to mind. This 1918 photo from the Salt Lake Tribune shows what an operating room looked like at the time right after my grandmother graduated from nursing school. This was 1918, no masks, and the nurses still wore very long dresses and aprons. Nurses were not permitted to wear lipstick during off hours even. Grandmother did wear lipstick one evening, and the dark red stain of those early kinds of lipsticks persisted the next morning. Dr. Oppenheimer asked, "Is that lipstick you are wearing, Weiser?" Myrtle's reply, "No, doctor, I've just been nervously biting my lips." She knew it was grounds for dismissal to disobey the rules. Here is the medical words dictionary, because it is in alphabetical order. It does have pronunciation and it does have definitions. 34,000 medical words published in 1913. So that was just 5 years before this picture was taken. And it says, and this is very fragile, and yes, I will wrap this in the acid-free tissue paper before I put it in the old steamer trunk. Myrtle Weiser. So that's apparently your handwriting. It certainly is not my handwriting. Similar, but not. Okay. Another thing that happened when she was in nursing school, I'm going to set this aside. And this is a great picture of her at about the time she graduated from nursing school. This was known as her engagement picture. But let me tell you about this other incident that occurred. The nurses were experimenting with the ether, which was a type of anesthetic, and they'd put a mask over someone's nose in the OR and until they were out asleep, and then they could go forward with the operation. But one nurse succumbed, meaning she fell asleep, and the others hid her in a large laundry cart until she came around. Oh, after marriage, when her children were in college working full time, Myrtle took a job at the docks in the Seattle waterfront. It was World War II, and she was tasked with giving vaccine inoculations to soldiers and sailors who would be leaving shortly to serve in the Pacific Theater. My dad said frequently his mother would feel sorry for a particularly homesick young man, just maybe fresh off the farm, and so she would invite him to dinner. She was kind of thoughtful that way, a tender heart. She taught me to make open-faced tuna fish and cheese sandwiches and apricot preserves, and there were countless games of checkers and giveaway at her kitchen table. Here is a picture among the things that grandmother Myrtle had saved and that her son, my dad, inherited, and now I have inherited. This is Myrtle right here on the end. You can compare it to the picture. Here's this other, this hairstyle, I guess, was all the rage. That was in 1915. So we have a 1915 class photo. I don't know if that's a graduation picture or an annual photo. We have her photo taken just before she was married in 1917. This is 1918, what it looked like in the OR, and my dad was born in 1918. As always, I made a notation for my grandchildren as to how they are related to Myrtle, the subject of this journal. Now, I purposely did not add all kinds of embellishments. As I say, I wanted to keep this as flat as possible so that it would preserve this old dictionary of 34,000 medical words pronounced and defined. All right. So the next thing I've got to do is get that tissue paper around that old book. That's pretty ancient when you think about it. And then do the ceremonial placement of this journal with the book in the old steamer trunk upstairs in my office. And now we will have the ceremonial placement of my grandmother Myrtle's old nursing school book that is now wrapped in tissue paper, as you can see, into the old steamer trunk. There we go. Nothing left to say but happy family tree climbing and journaling, everybody. That's a wrap.